Welcome back to Still Plays Galaxy Heroes. This is a roster update video, and we are recording this a little bit prior to whenever I release it. So a little bit of context, this is prior to the Grand Arena lock-in for the first week of Season 53, and this is during the final week of Conquest where Queen Amidala will be released, which means this is also prior to Master Qui-Gon being added to the game. So that's why you're not going to see those things. Now, the basic structure to these types of videos, we got our recent marquees and working on any major unlocks, either unlocking them or improving those recent unlocks. Then major project progress, major one in this case is Jar Jar, working towards that goal, and this is where I usually address any GLs that I'm working on. But in this case, we are looking towards the future because we are probably about a month away from hearing what the next GL is going to be. And then anything related to Cron, Datacrons, Omicrons, relics related to those Datacrons, anything in that vicinity, addressing any weaknesses that I feel like looking at, looking forward towards the next raid, so Galactic Republic characters are fair game, and then addressing any other ships and pilots or anything else that I feel like looking at. Before we start dropping gear, I want to just establish some quick context for the status of the Gear Horde. Now, if you're interested in the specifics, there's screenshots over on Discord. I know this can be hard to read on YouTube, but all that really matters here is that the colors are items that I'm actively farming and are in deficit, and things in gray are items that I am in surplus of. You can compare this to the last video to see the progress that has been made over the past 2 to 3 weeks. I think the last time that I recorded one of these, that doesn't correspond with the upload times, but it's been about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, we have carbonate circuit boards, bronzium wirings. These I'm actively working on. Then it's the signal data. But you can see a lot of the items that you'd be purchasing with Mark III signal data. I am good with those, which means we are now working ahead, which means I care about things like I'm going to be trying to either make sure I'm ready for the next GL, or I want to be working on some Relic 8, Relic 9 characters because we are overdue for Relic 10 as far as I'm concerned. Now, we have first column here with Gungans, or this is what's in the inventory, but the middle column, the relics column, here are some of the characters that I'm looking at increasing the overall quality of. It's basically looking at Relic 8s, Relic 9s on characters that I think are valuable. But there's other characters that are candidates for this place that are not shown, like GLs. But the basic idea is legendary characters, conquest characters, journey event characters. I want to increase their overall quality because in general they're very strong characters. So that is one of the things that I've been actively working on, and I just want to build on that. But then you see with like a lot of the Mark 12 pieces, which is captured in this portion of the spreadsheet, I'm pretty good. Like, we really only have to worry about the Mark 12 fusion furnace. These other pieces here, we got the HoloLens, the keypad, the stun cuff. Probably by the next time that I post one of these videos, I'm only going to have the HoloLens and the fusion furnace left. We also have the med packs, the Nubian scanners, those purple pieces that you farm on fleet nodes. Those are going to take me a while. But overall, we're looking pretty good. On screen are the favorited characters, either people I'm actively working on or characters I don't want to forget about. But it's also things like the active farms, which means we have STAP here, who we've actually been done farming since the double drop period. I had like 50 shards left when double drop started, and now we're done, and I've just been saving it for a video. It's not something that was going to like really change or anything. Also a character that has not been useful at Gear 11, the Omicron, not really working. Omicron definitely a waste at this stage. I don't expect him to be better at 7 stars. Really feels like a character who needs relics, but I will increase him to Gear 12 because this isn't really helping. I probably should have checked if Kairos were on that. Probably not. No, definitely not, because those were those finisher pieces that are never Kairos. Our most recent marquee is Rat Tail Obi-Wan. Now him, we're going to take up to Gear 11 for our testing purposes. Now with an attacker like this, Gear 11, not always going to be very useful. But with Queen Amidala's kit, I think there is a good chance that there's going to be some viability here. We're not going to know until we get to test, so we're going to get him at least into this position so that next week, when we gear up Queen Amidala and Master Qui-Gon, we can actually see what this lower level version of this squad looks like. because we are going to be testing Queen Amidala, Master Qui-Gon, and Rat Tail Obi-Wan all together at that Gear 11 level. We'll drop this stuff on. So what do we got? We have a very straightforward Omega. Definitely do that Omega. I mean, all Omegas, obviously, like this. I know a lot of players are still... It takes a long time to get past the point where you have to worry about those, but I am long past this point. Now, I did do pretty good on the Zeta farming period that CG just gave us. I got about close to 100. I don't think I got 100, but close to it. Because I got over 200. I think I started about 120. So this... Yeah, I'll look at the specifics of that later. We're not going to look at that now, but we're definitely going to drop the Zeta. I don't think there's any reason to wait on that one. Now, I will do this on my own time. With Gungans, here's the status of the farming. You can see I got a little bit lucky here with the Boomadir because he's not farmable yet, but we're going to be able to take him to 5 stars. That's because when we grab packs, I got a good drop on one. And then when we were getting those login, not the login one, but the web store shards, I got a good amount of Boomadir shards, which was enough, all that combined, to take me to 5 stars. Now with Boss Nass, I'm actually a week behind this character. Because for whatever reason, I mean, not for whatever reason, I've been busy, but I'm still a little surprised that somehow I just forgot to farm this guy for about a week. During the double drop period, I was not farming Boss Nass, which I think is actually probably the correct choice because I got just a bunch of Kairos, and this farm doesn't matter. Like him being the first released Gungan, what's going to happen is I will finish his farm pretty soon, and it's not going to affect anything because we're still going to be waiting for Phalanx. So it doesn't really matter how early I finish the farm on Boss Nass. So, but it's just kind of more of an annoyance where just I was farming him, I got him to 5 stars, and then forgot, which just is bizarre that's that even possible when you get into such a habit in this kind of game. Anyway, Tarpals, I think we're done with Tarpals now, right? Yeah, Tarpals we're just taking up to 7 stars because Cantina farms. They're fast and easy. Then it's very nice. Take him up to 7 stars, and we're done. We'll see what we can do with him in a 3v3 context. I kind of think my preferred team in 3v3 based on the testing I've done, though, in previous season. I did not like Boomadir in that team. The team kind of fell apart. I do think in a 3v3 context without Jar Jar, because obviously Jar Jar would be part of it if he was in the squad, if he was unlocked, is going to be Phalanx, because the shield generator would just get absolutely ripped apart if you didn't have a tank in 3v3. You didn't have enough time to do anything. So Phalanx mechanics to protect the shield generator, I think that's pretty critical. So 3v3 testing, we're going to do some, but I don't really expect anything. I mean, we will be using Phalanx, but at 3 stars or 4 stars, it's going to be mixed results. But that makes us have a lot of progress towards Jar Jar. We will definitely be ready when he returns. What was mentioned before from, I believe, Meathead in his stream was that's going to be about 3 months. So I think around August, depending on when that stream was, then that's when I'll be able to get him. But if you are not working on Gungans, like this is really for all players, you should be working on Gungans because it's just tying into everything. It's going to tie into Galactic Chases, Conquest, the next raid. You just have got to have this squad put together. Otherwise, you're locking yourself out for a long time, and especially because we are now, at best, a 3-month cadence on Jar Jar. That means if you don't get Jar Jar next time, that is like potentially a massive period where when that next raid gets released, your guild is being permanently set back from having a strong performance. And with how critical raid performance is to Mark III currency and how that ties into relics and especially high relics, you're going to start seeing with the next raid a separation happening between the guilds that take getting Jar Jar seriously versus the ones who don't. Because right now, everyone's basically performing, maybe not everyone, but a healthy amount of the game is performing well in the raids since Crate and with this Endor raid. This next one, though, we might start seeing that change. Now, prior to the grand arena lock-in. Here's what my Datacrons look like. We do have another day's worth of refreshes that we will be able to incorporate prior to lock-in after I record this video. So things will change a little bit. But here's where I am right now. We can't re-roll level 9, so this is what I've got. Tech is one that I wanted. Second sister, I would have preferred 9th sister Luminara. I'm fine with. I kind of want to have it just in case. But Padme is a big one that I would like. 9th sister, I think I said. And then SLKR, that's the big one of this current set that everybody wants. And I have been gifted the Lightspeed bundle with SLKR, but I'm going to hold off on that a little bit. I think we will be activating that Lightspeed bundle within the lifespan of that Kron, so I will get it. But I do want to see how I can perform in Kyber 1 with only 6 GLs for a bit. And I just want to challenge myself. But we'll be getting prepared. Now, in terms of gear and roster changes in relation to these Krons, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. And one, of course, is the Bad Batch. We've got Omega here that would give me a set of 5 so that I can use Tex Kron in a 5v5 context. But it's a 3v3 season, so that means Omega can wait. And hopefully, by waiting on this, we can maybe see if we get any closer to a reality of Crosshair being added to the game. Now, they did do that April Fool's Day tease that shouldn't be taken seriously, but Crosshair is deserving of possibly being the next Conquest character. He could show up as another marquee character. In terms of Conquest, I actually think a ship is more likely. We're due for a Conquest ship. Usually this time of year we've been getting one. But because it's a 3v3 season, I've got a month to wait to see how I feel about this Tech Kron, because the last time we had any Bad Batch Krons, I didn't have them at Relics. Now the next item here, Luminara is on my radar, so I do want to talk about her a little bit, less for her Datacron, but more because we got Queen Amidala showing up in a week. So she is a character that I am looking at for the synergies with Cadme. Now this is more relevant for 5v5, so you're not going to see me do anything with this within 3v3, but we will be testing her out. Now Luminara's Omicron isn't going to benefit from Queen Amidala, but the extra heal over times that Luminara puts out, those will still synergize with Queen Amidala. It's going to make Queen Amidala and that squad better, even though the heal over times that Cadme puts out isn't going to boost Luminara's Ami. So there is still enough synergy where she should be looked at. I think that's going to cement things just because we're very limited on signal data and Kairos. Now these are some of the key characters that I want to be strengthening. The only character I would be considering adding a relic to right now would be Treya. That one is probably going to benefit me the most out of all these characters that I might want to improve. But because of the greater contextual limitations, I think we're just going to hold off. I want to just preserve my resources for being able to make sure I've got the Kairos for Queen Amidala and Master Qui-Gon, because those characters require a good amount of Kairos. So I think that means we wrap it up. We were a little quiet for the last month on this channel, but we are past that busy period. Well, we're not past it, but we're past the worst of it. So hopefully over the foreseeable future, things are much more smoother and we get back to a regular operation around here. So thank you guys for your patience. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Be excellent to each other. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.